Academy of Bliss. As we walk out of the palace in the early morning, we are greeted by tiny, colorful birds. They flit and dance around us. A collage of moving color in the air. We giggle as their soft wings flutter past our ears. With a chorus of birdsong, we begin our trip to our place of study. Laughing softly as we travel, we catch the lightness of each other's thoughts. When we arrive, we greet our classmates. Many smiles. Our teacher is also here. And one loving thought gathers us together. Today we will paint at a place we have not visited before. We travel there in Vimans and land at an enchanting scene by a lake set in rolling hills. A choreography of graceful movement follows as we each settle into our painting. The fragrance of flowers wafts through the air, and we sit in stillness. observing the beauty of the scene in front of us, is soon mirrored with paint and color. A magical day in the Academy of Bliss.
वो दिन कितने प्यारे थे, ये दिन भी कितने प्यारे हैं। तब बाबा साथ हमारे थे, तब बाबा साथ हमारे थे। बाबा अब भी साथ हमारे हैं।
आत्मा की चैरिटेबल सदा प्रसन्नता से परे रहती। क्या वो भरपूर बच्चा है। अपमान और अपमान से बेफिक्र बच्चे। पुण्य आत्मा पुण्य की शक्ति द्वारा स्वयं की हर संकल्प हर समय के हर पल को हर कर्म को सफल करने वाली जितना जितना पुण्य का खाता जमा होता है, जमा की निशानी है व्यर्थ की समाप्ति। ऐसे पुण्यात्मा विश्व के राज के तख्त नशीन बनते। चेक करो अपने खाते को। ऐसे पुण्य आत्मा कहाँ तक बने हैं। अगर पूछेंगे पुण्य आत्मा हो तो क्या कहेंगे सभी? हाँ जी कहेंगे ना। ना जी कहने वाला है कोई? है सभी पुण्य आत्माएं, लेकिन नंबर वन कि सभी नंबर वन है। नंबर वन है ना सत्य त्रेता के विश्व के तख्त पर कितने बैठेंगे? सभी इकट्ठे बैठेंगे। वहां भी ऐसे हाल के माफिक पर करके तो नहीं बैठेंगे। तो नंबर वन है ना। नंबर क्यों बनते हैं? कारण बाप दादा ने बच्चों की चेक की और वही बात नंबर वन बनने में रुकावट डालती। बच्चे मैं आपके सदा साथ हूँ।
Om Shanti. Avyak signals. In order to pass in the final test, increase the power to discern. Constantly stay in the company of the Almighty Authority Father, and you will never wilt. If your connection is good, you will automatically receive the current of all powers. When you continue to receive all powers, you will remain constantly cheerful, and your sorrow will finish. The confluence age is a time of happiness, and if at such a time someone brings sorrow, you would feel bad, would you not? Therefore, imbibe the power to discern and step away from the world of sorrow and suffering. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Welcome to Vyakti Parivar. Today is day 22. Creating heaven inside ourselves, ruling in the land of happiness. Now we will listen to Mohini Didi.
Om Shanti, everyone is happy, everyone is okay. Yes, learn to be ever happy. Is there any school where it is taught how to be happy? It's only when we become Baba's child. So Baba's children are always happy. Baba has given us the knowledge, the understanding that this is the world of duality. Like within the day, there is day and night, morning, evening. Same as there is sorrow and happiness, there is respect and humiliation, there is cold, there is hot. There's always like adverse situations. But the definition of a yogi is one who is beyond the influence of both. There are two types of happiness. One is deep within, inner happiness, which is from knowing one's own self truly. If something happened, but because I am honest, so I am happy, I'm okay. This is not happiness like bubbling externally, but internally, when there is truth, there is happiness. There is honesty, there is happiness. If I have love for everyone, yes, my heart is happy. I like everyone, my heart is happy. So one is this kind of happiness. Actually, one is happiness as two words we use. One is khushi, it's like joy, happiness, and other is sukh in the sense of everything is very pleasant and comfortable and okay. So for God, we say He is remover of sorrow and He is bestower of happiness. I believe from day one that only God can remove sorrows. And then bestow us happiness. But then Baba also tells us two things. Baba had been talking about being a charitable soul. What is being charitable soul is that helping someone, cooperating at the right moment of the need. If someone is thirsty and you can share water, that person will give a lot of blessings. You all must have heard the story of Brahma Baba. In olden days, people used to travel long for their business. So once he was returning from his business trip, and he was very thirsty, couldn't find any well or any water pump or anything. But finally, there was a hut and somewhere he found water. When he reached home, he told his assistant in that area to have many wells, at least a few, so that people's thirst can be quenched. You can throw a big party and give drinks to people, juices and sodas. That won't bring any blessings on you. I remember we were young, we were taught, if you see a hungry person, you share your food. During the time of partition, I remember I came to India, Delhi, very earlier in good conditions. So there were a lot of refugees. So when we will leave home, they will give us few extra sandwiches. If you see any hungry child, give that sandwich. And there used to be so much joy looking into the eyes of that child who gets the sandwich when someone is thirsty, hungry, or even someone is lost on the way and you are able to give right direction. But if you say, no, I don't know, you find your own way. Of course, these days we have many different ways. But to be helpful to someone at the time of need is a charity. And that brings a lot of inner contentment and joy and a kind of pleasure. And one happiness is when you are able to achieve something. You really have a desire for something, you get it accomplished. So one is temporary happiness, other is everlasting happiness. So when Baba is talking about happiness, he's talking about inner, consistent joy, consistent happy. Where any adverse situation come, I have to use the power. I need to adjust, or I need to tolerate, or I need to add, whatever power is required. We see it more as our test, which I have to pass with honor. But also, one thought I always had, and I think I'm getting kind of maintaining it. I will go in front of God always smiling. I'm never gone with complaint, desire, never. Because I always feel He's my parents and He knows. But He will be so happy to see me smiling, right? And I get all the blessings all the time, right? Always. And that's what Baba is saying, children, be cheerful, be smiling, be happy. We saw Brahma Baba from the 5th floor of the house. He's looking down, and these young children, their parents, lot demonstrations are going on. They want to take them away, and children don't want to go. And Baba is upstairs smiling because he knew that truth is truth, right is right, and everything will become all right. But this habit of subtle fear, subtle worry, but if I have faith, Mama's Day is coming, and I was sharing today with Shiv Shakti leadership that she was able to change her faith by becoming carefree, never worried. So many things used to happen, internal, external. Plus, she changed her truth into being brave and courageous. If I am honest and truthful, I have courage. So every situation comes for us to kind of create in us, emerge that power and use it, but not worried. No fear, right? So this way, it's not only becoming charitable, but internally, that feeling which comes of joy and happiness from those kinds of actions is the real happiness. Everything in the world has a limited life, everything. Anything, whether it's expensive or cheap, or everything is mortal. One day it just disappears. Right? So then what happens? We know it's going to happen, but why should I be sad about it? I know a lot of people for every little thing say, my heart is hurting. Why is your heart hurting? Oh, I lost this or I lost this. I said, when anything is nothing is everlasting. So our Dadi Gulzar used to say, only one thing which you can make everlasting is your happiness. She always used to let everything disappear, but your happiness should not go. So cheerful, liking everyone, love for everyone, be a charitable soul, and look at this whole cycle, the drama. Now, what you hear these days, a lot of hatred, lot of violence, lot of frauds, everything. But we are going above that. No, we are not connected with that world. We have simplicity, we are honest for everything. And by receiving all the powers from Almighty Baba, don't just say Baba, say Almighty Baba. I remember when Dadis came for service in the beginning, they had nothing. When I say nothing is nothing. So when they want to do program, people will say, from where money will come? Almighty Baba is with me. Are you going alone there? Almighty Baba is with me. So they used to say Almighty Baba. Or they will say Karan Karavanhar, means one who does and makes you do. Baba will make it happen. So they used to invoke Baba with that quality so that they can experience that power. And from their power, they remain not only light, but everything got accomplished. So many stories we hear from the beginning when they started service. So we all also know that there is a world of sorrow, but it's going, it's extreme, it has to end. But we are connected with the beginning. Today Baba said, I need children who are sweet and cool and sensible, mature, serviceable. And we are such children, right? So happiness, kingdom of happiness is being established. And if I want to rule that, then I have to know how to change sorrow into happiness within a second. If sorrow stays longer, then it becomes the feelings, So just remain stable, consistent, and constantly be cheerful, smiling, because your smile is comfort for many. A good smile brings happiness to many. Their sorrows can be removed. And you can make others smile also. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti, Didi Mohini. Good evening.
Good evening.
Lovely to be here. I'm actually smiling at the flowers on either side of you. And I'm also smiling at the flower that is you, which is in between the flowers. So I'm just thinking, just look at the flowers. That beauty comes out from the seed in a way. It's already there, but it needs a very good gardener to make such beautiful flowers. So this is the master gardener, Baba. He works on us and brings out our virtues and qualities, which are already there. In fact, Baba just brings them out gently. And I've just been thinking how this Sattva Pradhan happiness that you've been talking about, it's actually grounded in our original qualities, not just in ourselves, but there's no use to see that I am a soul with such beautiful qualities, but I have to see that others also have an original state. In fact, every single soul has something in common. They come from the soul world. They're Baba's children. So when Baba says that purity is the master of happiness, is the mother of happiness, and is purity then all about just keeping the awareness of our original qualities and just keeping that in the top of our minds, in the top of our hearts, and when we see others also, we just see their original qualities behind everything? Is that what purity is all about, so that it becomes the mother of happiness? That's my question.
Mm-hmm. When one is one's original self, right, and original self is pure. So it's not, if one is inculcating purity, that means following principles and purity of thoughts, words, and actions, which we practice and we become that. But one is just recognition of true self and be in that, stage. It gives so much joy, gives so much happiness. And I think that comes through purity, right? Because soul is pure. There are a lot of examples are given that they always like even give example of a bulb, that inside there is light, but the dust, there is a lot of dust, layers of dust. So you can't feel the light, but when you clean it, then you see it very, very bright. But also, Brother Ken, when you talked about flowers, I'm amazed at how from the seed, right, or from little bit sapling, how beautiful flowers, from where color comes, from where the fragrance comes. And so same is in each one of us, right? If I want, what to become flower or pure or happy, it's coming from the original self, Sometimes you look at flowers, you look at nature, and how beautiful everything is. So same as if we start seeing this inner beauty, I think there will be happiness. But if it depends on outside external source, then there might be happiness, but it's very temporary. I like very short that there was a boy, it was thundering, lot of rain and thundering, and he will come outside and he will smile, and his mother will be worrying, why you go out when it's thundering and lightning? So when it was lightning, he will say, God is taking my photograph, so I'm smiling. And I like it so much that thundering and lightning was not fearsome, because his concept was that this lightning is no like camera's light goes on when you have to take a snap photo. So he used to every time go out and smile and come inside. Then he goes out. So I think this whole thing of being in presence of God and thinking of I'm child of Almighty, brings a lot of joy, a lot of happiness, and you don't even feel threatened by whatever is happening, even through the elements. So original purity is just be the true self, who am I? And as soon as you are pure. No? And that's what happened to all of us. I remember first time going in front of Brahma Baba. One is hearing that I am soul. But as soon as I sat and I looked at Baba, I just thought all the impurities were completely removed and felt so, so light and so pure. So purity brings definitely happiness, and it becomes very natural and very easy for us to have this quality of purity.
Yeah, I was loving when you were talking about being the carefree emperor and not having worries and and to have faith. But faith is not just belief. Faith is a knowing. Faith is like a conviction for us. It's based on experience, not just a belief. And when I came to Brazil first, having received Baba's instructions to come here, I arrived here with only $200, a little bit like your experience in New York. I had no money, and I couldn't speak the language either. So I just had Baba's blessing to carry me forward. And that made me really carefree, actually. And in the subsequent meetings with Baba over the next few years, once I came in front of Baba Dada, and Baba gave Drishti, he said, "You have visa problems, don't you?" And I said, I hadn't told anyone that I had visa problems, because I had to leave the country every 3 months, get my passport stamped and come back again, because I was on a tourist visa. And Baba said, you have problems, tourist visa, right? He said, "Don't just go to the border." I said, "How do you know that I just go to the border?" Of course, Baba knows. And then he said, "Go to the capital cities of those nearby countries and get the service started." So when you know that Baba is close to you, you're close to Baba, he's also close to you. That's probably the sort of experience we need to cultivate. Now, I know we're not in the times of Baba personal meetings anymore, but Baba knows about each of us. Is that right? Baba knows exactly what's going on in each of us. How could, I mean, he said, he must have had his television set open. He said, seeing me go to the border and not getting, it was such an incredible experience. Baba knows. So for me, faith is based on the fact that Baba knows and he's helping me. It's not just a belief, it's an experience. Is that right?
Also in the beginning when you went and Dadi Janki came and you had 8 sisters, right? Wearing saris and meeting Dadi Janki without knowing language. And all these are still teachers. That means how those Baba's children were waiting there for the message. So Baba is listening to the calling of those souls. So as soon as you went, you started and you found so many Baba's very valuable jewels there. So definitely Baba knows. And that's so interesting that, see, God is knowledgeful and ever pure. And of course, ocean of love. And as much our qualities, knowledgeful doesn't mean that I know heart of everyone. But at the right time, you will feel who needs what. Even through words, when we speak, people say, "Oh, that's what we wanted to hear." So how do we know? We don't know, right? In the sense of knowing as knowing. But so it's interesting that the knowledge and the purity has capacity where you can know the need of whichever soul is around you, or even those who are far. And that touches the souls very much too, like you were touched that Baba knows, right? So it also becomes with us that some or other there is a feeling like, oh, I could help this way. So how do you know? I don't know, but I know in the sense of this is coming from the purity, the capacities which are very different from purity than acquired capacities or skills through universities or degrees, So I think similar quality is what Baba has. We all are experiencing in ourselves. Right?
Well, Didi, this is my last evening. I think tomorrow Wadi is back again. But I just like to, the great and moving meditation commentaries of Judy Johnson on the Golden Age. It's been so beautiful. It's been so easy to imagine myself in those situations that she was painting in our minds. And we can easily remember the golden age, or at least feel for the golden age, because it is recorded in us. And therefore, that is also not a belief, it's an experience. So we should really take the chance to dig up these old sanskars, because we have this Satipradhan type of happiness inside of us. Also, we know the other types of happiness as well, so we can compare. Isn't that the reason behind when Baba a few Sundays ago said, keep the great contrast in mind? It's that the great contrast is between the first half of the cycle and the second half of the cycle. It's if we've got two halves of the cycle recorded in us, and the struggle is between those two sides of the cycle. So let's just see that the golden age will also always win our original qualities, our original qualities. No one and nothing can take them away from us. Is that right?
Yeah, that's true. But also, I think we had been using these commentaries after morning class in Morley every morning. And I think even if we do not have it in program, but they are recorded and we can always use it continuously to create this heavenly vision and experience. Actually, I like it very much too, that whether it's morning walk or evening walk or walk with the family or alone, and all beautiful fragrance of air and water. I think that one really feels it. Yeah.
Yeah, and even the artwork is fantastic, you know, when we're doing the meditation, artwork is fantastic. Anyway, Sister Winnie, I really enjoyed being with Abhiyakapadiva for, I think this is the 8th day, but beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah, Brother Ken, it was very valuable. A lot of people made very good comments that your questions, your explanation, sharing, everything had been very real, very, very, very beautiful. So thank you for that.
Okay, thank you, Didi. So let's read our homework for tomorrow. Creating heaven inside ourselves. Ruling in the land of happiness. Today, that means tomorrow, I practice the golden age sanskar of smiling and liking everyone by seeing the whole world as my family.
Om Shanti. Yes, that was a very, very beautiful chit chat. And thank you so much, Brother Ken. It is really honor that you took time out for us and came every evening and be with us. And yes, whole of Bhakti Parivar really enjoys your presence and all your questions. So please keep coming. We really want you to be back again. Thank you. And thank you, Didi, also. So everyone, fasten your seatbelt. But our air hostess are also coming. Our pilots are there waiting for us. We have to just come on board. Welcome to a Bhakti journey, Madhuban, the forest of honey, where heaven begins.
होती दिवाली तो हर युग में है, ये दिवाली संगम की निराली है। शिव बाबा
बनाकर आपका अच्छा लगाना, अच्छा लगा कर अपना तो अभी भी आते रहना। तुमको सुन कम सुन बहुत अच्छा।
That was very, very beautiful, right? Diwali celebration in Gyansur. So it's wonder our Baba's children are so talented, you know. So all the lights which were decorated, they made there in that workshop. So amazing. So thank you. Thank you for taking us and showing all that. And please be with us every day.
Om Shanti. Good night, everyone. Om Shanti. Good night.